All righty. Well, good morning. If you're watching this later on, good afternoon, good evening, good night, as they say. We appreciate you joining us today. What this is a continuation of a series that we have already started about selling homes in the digital age. We did one 2 weeks ago today, and it got great response, and that was centered around the marketing piece with David Finney and Rick Robinson joining us to talk about those pieces of it. A lot of the questions, though, that came out of that webinar were, all right, we now know how to market it. We know what tools are available in that, but now how do you finance it? How do you actually close that? And are we allowed to close a loan or finance a loan digitally? So what we did, we sent out a questionnaire to several of our finance lenders that are members of KMHI. All of them answered. This is who we sent it out to: 21st, Alliance, Cascade, CIS, Credit Human, Country Place, First Bank, Park Lane, Triad, and TAMAC. So this questionnaire was sent out, and today's format, basically, we're going to be reviewing the results of that questionnaire rather than giving each one of these companies time to kind of present on what their company does and doesn't do. We don't want to keep you guys here for 8 hours. So we're just going to go through those results. Those individuals are on the call. Most of them are. So the ones that completed this survey: Mark Wilson with First Bank, Rob James with Alliance Credit, Raymond Gordon of Cascade, Don Sharp of Triad, Rodney Smith of CIS, Luke Foster of Park Lane, Dave Mavis of TAMAC, Daniel Kowal of Country Place, Lance Hull of 21st Mortgage, and Barry Knopfsinger of Credit Human. And this questionnaire was prepared by those of you in the industry. This wasn't something that I created, but should give retailers a good perspective of what's out there, what's available, what resources they've got. And this is something, the goal isn't necessarily to say, all right, during COVID-19, how can we conduct business? This is during COVID-19, how can we conduct business? But more importantly, what is the new normal going to look like? Once COVID-19 is done, we get to see what normal looks like. We get to go to the movie theater and do all those things. What is that piece going to look like? And so we've broken this down into a few different sections: general technology, the application process, loan documentation, and then tracking. So that's kind of the segments that these questions were broken down into. So what we're going to do, we're just going to go through this. If you've got questions, just down in the chat, feel free to ask one of those questions. If you want to do it to everyone, that's great. If you want to just send it to me, you can do that as well. Just do it to, it says Logan Haynes co-host there, and I'm tracking those on a different screen. So just diving right into it: general technology. Websites. Everybody's got a website here. You can see these website names here. 21st Mortgage, all of them have this, so we won't spend just a ton of time going over all these. But if you want to take a screenshot, this presentation will be sent out to all of our members in the future, probably beginning of next week, so that you can see all these slides again. So that's everybody's got a website, so we're tracking so far. Next piece: do you have a customer portal or a consumer portal? 21st Mortgage says that is in development. They see the need for it, and that's something that they're working on. Same with Credit Human. They've gotten a start on it. Their ETA of launching that is summer of 2021. TAMAC does not as of yet. Alliance Credit does have a consumer portal, as well as Country Place. Cascade does as well. Theirs is ask-cade.com. First Bank does not as of yet. Triad does on specific loan types. So, the whole point of doing it in this format, we realize that, each company is going to have a different answer for these questions, and that could vary based off of the loan type as well. So that's on a lot of these questions, that information was provided as well. So Triad's consumer portal is just on their Land Plus deals. CIS also has a consumer portal, and then Park Lane, they have developed it, and the pilot program is in place. So there'll be some tweaks on theirs coming up. So that's consumer portal. And then retailer portal. You see similar answers here. Same type of answer with the exception of 21st. They do have a consumer or a retailer portal in place. Credit Human, again, is in development. TAMAC does not. Alliance does not. Country Place does have one in place. Cascade, again, ask-k.com. First Bank does not. Triad does on Land Plus deals. CIS does, and then Park Lane's pilot program is also in place. Rate sheets. A lot of retailers want to know the easiest and the best way to access rate sheets and other documentation. 21st says via our retailer portal or by request to your business development manager. So if you're a retailer, you deal with 21st, you should know who that is. If not, you can certainly reach out to 21st and figure out who that would be in your area. Credit Human, contact your local representative. I believe there's 2 in Kentucky, so you can reach out to them to access those rate sheets. TAMAC, payment calculator has rates built in, so on their website you can actually see what those rates are. They update that payment calculator based off of current rates. Alliance, you can call the office or your local rep. Country Place, contact Daniel Kowal, that's the local rep for Kentucky. Cascade, contact Raymond Gordon. He's on the phone as well. You can reach out to him to figure out what those rates are. First Bank via email or phone. Triad, you go to triadfs.com, click on dealer, and then depending on your region, where you're at, and the loan type, you can select that on that next page. And then CIS, just via the dealer portal that they've got. And then Park Lane, just on request, and they'll send that information to you. What tools do you have to assist customers to pre-qualify? 21st has mypaymentestimator.com. Credit Human has the ability to submit basic applications along with information on a potential home. Credit Human can determine max loan approval while giving approval that is good for 90 days. TAMAC has the payment calculator. Alliance has a questionnaire type application that they're very proud of on their website that you can go through. Country Place has pre-qualification via online, phone, or hard copy within 24 hours with vetted answers. So that's something that they go through. Cascade has an online application to retailer with the consumer link. So basically they send the pre-qualification to the retailer. The retailer can then forward that with a specific link to that consumer. First Bank, you call your local representative to apply over the phone, so you don't have to go online at all. You can just call the local rep. Triad has the online calculator. CIS has an online application. And then Park Lane has online pre-qualification application and a live call on their website. And again, as you guys have questions, don't hesitate to down in the chat to ask any of those questions that you've got down there. If you're watching this after the live version, you'll be able to email me. You'll see my contact information, and I can forward that to these companies. So that is that part of it. Next is diving into the application process. Can an application be submitted electronically via a website, portal, or some sort of online application? 21st says yes on 21stmortgage.com. Credit Human says yes, an interactive app and online application. Also has Loan Advisor to assist, and you can reach that by dialing 336-693-1152. TAMAC says yes, they've got one on tamac.com. Alliance, yes, on alliancecredit.com, or you can fax or email them as well. And I think a lot of those companies are going to be in the same boat as Alliance. They're being able to fax or email some of those applications as well. Country Place has one, yes, on countryplaceloans.com. Triad has online at triadfs.com or via the Triad mobile app. Cascade, yes, on ask-k.com. First Bank, no. CIS, yes. And then Park Lane, yes, on parklanefinance.com, or you can email info@parklanefinance.com as well. Does the application have to be complete with the assistance of a retailer, or can the customer submit the application themselves? 21st says the customer can submit. Credit Human says either. Credit Human can also assist in taking the application. TAMAC says customer can submit. Alliance says customer can submit. Country Place says you can go to countryplaceloans.com and that can be an either or there. Cascade says the customer fills out and submits through the retailer. So that way that retailer keeps that touch point. First Bank says customer can submit via MH app at firstbankonline.com. Triad, either the retailer or the customer can do that. CIS said the customer can submit, and then Park Lane says either or. Do you offer pre-qualification or straight approval? 21st says straight approval, as well as Credit Human. TAMAC offers pre-qualification. Alliance offers both. You can either do pre-qualification or straight approval. Country Place offers pre-approval with conditions collected directly from the borrower to submit to the underwriter. So they go through that process on the conditions. Cascade says pre-qualification until income verification is complete. First Bank says straight approval. Triad says straight approval. CIS says pre-qualification, and Park Lane says both. So some of those may enter through a pre-approval or pre-qualification process, and then with documentation go towards the straight approval. The processing process, what the retailer has to go through, what resources they've got available. How can a retailer follow its pipeline? 21st has that retailer portal to be able to track that. Credit Human, currently you can call or email the underwriter processor or the local rep. TAMAC doesn't necessarily have a pipeline process, but you can certainly reach out to that local representative, and I'm sure they can get you information there. Alliance Credit says through email updates that track the progress of each loan. They give you updates on what conditions are still left to be checked and what aren't. Country Place has the online portal for all construction projects with a funding checklist. So again, same way there. Once you reach certain thresholds, on those construction type loans, it releases and tells you what's left before the next stage of funding kicks in. Cascade says through email until portal advancement. First Bank says digitally upon request. Triad says online through an LMS portal. CIS says through a retailer portal, and Park Lane says conditions are sent once the applications are approved. Moving on to the next one. How can the customer or retailer submit conditions? 21st says the retailer portal, email, fax are the best way. Customer portal will also have this functionality as well. Credit Human says they've got a dedicated email address for this. You can email gsoprocessing@credithuman.com, or you can fax 866-279-8779. TAMAC says email or fax is the best solution there. Alliance through the point of sale tool via the smartphone camera. So you don't have to scan anything. You can basically just take a picture of it with your smartphone and submit through that point of sale tool. Country Place says retailers loan officer will work with the borrower to collect all conditions, or the retailer can do this. So they work with either the borrower, or if the retailer wants to maintain that control, they can do that as well. Cascade submitted at the time of the application, or faxed/emailed, either one there, to the loan officer. First Bank says both have the ability to do so. Triad says via portal on Land Plus loans. So again, that's specific to those types of loans, or you can email or fax on chattel loans. CIS says the retailer or customer portals. Park Lane says emailed to info@parklanefinance.com. Can you order loan docs via technology? Everybody but First Bank and TAMAC, you can do this. And again, this is something that you can reach out to your lender there, or your representative if you need some help on that. So hang on just a second, let me. Okay. Hang on just one second, guys. Had a notification pop up. Let me. righty. Sorry about that, guys. If you don't care, those of you that send messages or have questions, do it to, there's two Logan Haynes in there, which I know is confusing. One says co-host. Send that to that one if you don't care. So can you order your loan docs via technology? Again, went over that one. Yes, on everybody except First Bank and TAMAC. And then moving into the loan closing process, can a closing be done virtually via FaceTime, Zoom? And there's some laws in here that affect this that have been proposed to be changed. Some of that has changed recently, but that plays into this questionnaire as well. 21st Mortgage says no. Credit Human says depending on state laws. Kentucky allows certain virtual closings. However, Credit Human requires wet signatures. TAMAC says no. Alliance Credit says yes. Country Place says no. Cascade says they will do it on chattel loans only. First Bank, no. Triad, it's possible with cooperating parties. It's not something that they advertise, but it is something that is possible. CIS says yes. Park Lane says no. Will you accept electronic notary services? Looking here. Alliance says yes. CIS says yes. Cascade says on chattel loans. Park Lane is still looking at that, but the others are saying no on that it has to be a wet signature there. Will you accept an e-signature? That could be something via like a DocuSign type product. Some of these answers, it depends on what the document is. 21st says yes, they do allow it. Credit Human says that they allowed on applications, but wet signatures on all contracts. TAMAC does not allow e-signatures. Cascade does allow it. Country Place allows it. Alliance allows it. Cascade allows it on chattel loans only. First Bank is testing the DocuSign on applications and closing disclosures. Triad says yes, they allow it on Land Plus in Kentucky. And then those of you that are watching this from Tennessee, they'll do Land Plus, Land Home, and chattel loans in Tennessee. CIS does allow it, and then Park Lane says they allow it on the acknowledgement, TILs, and valuations, but not on closing documents. Do you require encrypted transmission of closing documents via a secure link? Something like a Mimecast could do that. 21st says no, they do not require that. Credit Human says yes, and that's via a remote doc system or a Credit Human standard encrypted email delivery system. So they've got that functionality built into their email system. TAMAC does not require it. Alliance requires it. Country Place does not. Cascade does require it. First Bank does require it. CIS also requires it. Park Lane does not. And then Triad says it's not required, but highly recommended, and they utilize Mimecast. Can funds, once the process has gone through, can funds be transferred electronically? Everybody here is a yes. Credit Human, they preface saying that they do it either through a wire or ACH. I know that's how a lot of the others are as well. This was just kind of the last question on the survey. Just talking about during this time as we're going through these transitions into a more digital time, what's kind of the best practice to work with your lending institution during this time and going forward? 21st says whatever best suits the customer, that they're flexible and fully staffed to meet their needs. Again, the key thing is if you all work with these lenders and you see something on here that conflicts with maybe a practice that you are used to, something that isn't what you've experienced, reach out to that local rep. They can certainly walk you through maybe what's changed, what they're offering that's different, and that kind of thing. Alliance says their best practice is by directing the customer to their website for the application and working through the point of sale tool to clear conditions via their mobile phone. So again, a lot of these companies are embracing that technology that is so prevalent today. Cascade says they're here to service the industry. They feel that the digital portal at this time is the best way. Country Place says that they're a full service lender to do a one-time upfront construction loan on FHA, VA, USDA, and conventional loans. Each retailer is assigned a loan officer that will handle all the applications and approval. Each retailer has all phone numbers associated with the loan officer, director of marketing, and regional manager. If a retailer isn't currently work with Country Place but needs construction lending, they can contact Daniel Colwell. Credit Human says our policies, specifically talking about during COVID-19, our policy, programs, and procedures have not changed. As a best practice during this time of uncertainty, it is very important to keep the lines of communication open between the lender, retailer, and consumer. If any status changes with any customer, please immediately communicate. We must work together in order to get through this together. I think Barry was channeling a little bit of Andy Bashir there at the very end. First Bank says call 865-545-5111 to submit applications over the phone. They see that as their best practice right now. Park Lane says be the point of contact and facilitate as much as you can. So again, echoing that communication piece. Tamac says utilizing their online tool is their best practice and everything that they've got online. Triad says they've got a suggestion to a retailer to learn how to efficiently enter your applications online. They recognize that can be seem cumbersome, but after a few tries, it should be no more than a 10 to 12 minute process. You get a faster response, and you have the ability to track online if you go through that. If you do allow your customers to enter their application, and they're acknowledging that can be problematic because you may not get completeness or accurate income entering, follow up with the transaction details with that consumer, the figure worksheet, some sort of figure worksheet of some sort immediately, and send that to ilapps@triadfs.com. That's the email address you want to send that to. So with that, any questions? One of the questions that came in, and let me see who all is online here. So one of the questions that came in, and you all will know this better than I, those of you that are lenders, requesting, and this may be difficult, you all to work together to create one standard application. And they're wanting something that rather than filling out, one application here, another application there, fill out one application and send it to those. So, I don't know if one of you want to take the reins on that capability. If any of you want to go on unmute, or if we just need to send something out, we can do that with all the lenders, and that can be an association task of working with the lenders to see if that's possible and send a follow-up. Don, let me unmute you, sir. There you go. Don?
I just wanted to get unmuted. I couldn't stand this any longer. No, seriously.
Oh, okay.
I thought everyone did accept the generic application that I think 21st came out with when Dodd-Frank was implemented at first. I know we do. I'm surprised that other lenders do not, but I don't know that for a fact.
And to be fair, they may, Don. That was just a question that came up. There we go. I've got you unmuted. Yes, sir.
It's going to be, over the years, Don, you can verify this. We've seen everybody copy everybody else's application. So, where the genesis of today's application came from, several different companies all the way back to the GE credit days. What only difference you see is the individual permission to check credit pages. basically the only difference.
Right.
And talking about the application process, Chris Nicely, I know you're on the phone. You are on the call. You sent me a message there. You just kind of want to talk about some of the resources. You know, Chris Nicely represents Next Step. They're a nonprofit, so we're gonna plug unmute Chris here. Chris, do you want to kind of touch on what you sent me in that message?
Yeah, thanks, Logan. I just wanted to kind of remind everyone, Next Step is a national nonprofit, and we have a program called SmartMH that can help your applicants that don't quite make the grade. They need some down payment possibly, they need some credit help, that type of stuff. Our program that we started with Freddie Mac called SmartMH will get your applicants the help they need to kind of get across the finish line, get them approved, get them back in the market, mortgage ready. We see about anywhere between a 10 and 25% return to buy. And it's free to the customers and the applicants. It's free for all those credit scores over 590. If you're under 590 and come into SmartMH program, it'll cost you a nominal one-time fee, somewhere between $50 and $75 to get the help you need from a credit repair standpoint. But I think most everyone, possibly except Park Lane, Tamick, and maybe Triad, are members of SmartMH already. But if you have an applicant and you want to get them the help they need, just call a toll-free number, 844-MH today. So that could help you, and is just another tool in your toolbox to help your applicant. So thanks, Logan.
Okay, thanks, Chris. You see Mark at First Bank there sent out a note. They also accept most any application at First Bank. And just as a follow-up piece, everybody that's on the call, what I'll do is I'll follow up with each one of the lenders, see if there's any crossover there on that application, and we can send that back out. So any other questions that we need to cover from anybody? I don't see, looking on my chat here, don't see any. Let me... All right. So for those of you that have questions or you're watching this after the fact, this is my contact information. If you want to send me any questions that you may have, I'd be more than glad to find out an answer for you. Reach out to all the lenders that were on the call today and figure that out. And I do want to thank all the lenders that participated in taking this questionnaire and being on the call today. This again is just a continuation of selling homes online and this webinar series that we're doing. If next week we're going to be diving in a little bit deeper, we're going to be looking at using Facebook and Google as kind of the carrot on the string. This is a follow-up from the webinar that we had 2 weeks ago. This is just getting in the weeds a little bit more. The next Friday is going to be David Finney that is going to be coming back. He's with Build Media. They specialize in manufactured housing and a marketing company for that. And then the week after that, we're getting the manufacturedhomes.com back on the line. And that's going to be Scott Stroud. And they're going to be talking about their CRM tool. I saw one other note. Let me see if something popped up here. Nope, we're good. So again, thank you guys so much, all of you that participated. Thank you all for watching. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. So thank you, and then we'll hope to see you next Friday at 10 o'clock for the next installment of this Selling in the Digital Age. So thank you all.